Good morning from Port Angeles Anytime Fitness. I'm going to start by just opening my arm up and swinging it at a full range of motion. Today we're going to be doing some stretching and some balance work. And then we're going to go ahead and, if we have time, do a little bit of posture work combined with the other work. So hand the other way. Active stretching is simply moving your body in a way that you might move it when you stretch, but warming those muscles up just a little bit so that they stretch easier and faster. The other way that you often see people stretching is, go ahead with the other arm, is to hold something for 30 seconds and go a little bit deeper, which is much more effective because it gives that muscle time to relax. But today we're just going to go ahead and hold our stretches for about 10 seconds and move on. We'll just keep moving through them so that we do them several times, and then you have the ability to come back and do them longer if you need to. So feet shoulder width apart, just opening up your arms, arch back, round, arch, round. Okay? And so one of the things we're asking you to do on your own is to bike, hike, run, do something on your own, a little bit additional cardio, and either map that on a map. Go ahead, hang on to something, just pick up your leg and move it out from you. Either log your miles or chart them on a map of the area, and then when you have enough miles to have virtually reached somebody's home, pick up the phone, give them a call, let them know what you're doing, that you're virtually hiking to their house, and then visit with them on the phone and have a conversation and a little bit of deliberate time spent with them to make sure that they're okay and doing okay in this quarantine. So go ahead and we're going to leg goes frontwards and backwards, just swinging it. Today all I need is a chair and body weight. But for those people who are doing a lot of cardio and lifting, sometimes the balance, go ahead, other foot, and the flexibility is left out because it's boring, it's lower energy, it's not as exhilarating. But it's equally important because it's what allows muscles to relax so that you have that posture and flexibility you need for your balance. Okay. And so we're going to start with just getting our calf muscle. You're going to put your foot against the wall. When that toe's up as high as it will go, sink down just a little, and don't sink down with your knee forward. Bring your butt back just a little. Get that toe a little bit higher, and as you push up, you're going to feel a greater stretch there. So holding it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to bring your other foot up, and the same thing, bring your butt back, not knee down, butt back, get that toe up a little higher, push your hips forward until you feel a stretch there, hold it, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put front foot forward, other foot back. When your foot is back, what we're going to start doing is stretching the back of the calf and adding more exercises into it. Make sure that toe isn't turned down. Look at the back toe. Make sure it's straight and the heel is on the ground. Make sure this front leg is far enough forward that when I go forward, the knee does not pass the toe. Then I'm going to pull that shoulder back so I also feel a twist in my side. And I'm going to tilt my shoulder back so that I feel a stretch in the front of this leg. So we're getting several things at once. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go ahead and release. We're going to go to the other side. So other foot goes back. Okay. Again, check your toe. Make sure your toe is straight. Make sure this whole leg is far enough forward that when you shift forward, you don't go over that toe. Bring your shoulder back so that you twist your waist and tilt your shoulders back. Hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go ahead and continue with those calves. You can either hold onto the wall and come out far enough that you're up on your toes and alternate pressing your heels down, or you can find a chair or something and do the same thing. Up on your toes, push one heel and the other, and be back far enough that you feel like you are pressing down through those heels. So here we go, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go ahead and go into some leg work. You can put your butt right down onto the counter, 1 foot forward, and just come down if you feel a nice stretch on the back of that leg, okay? So here we go for 10, 9, 8, try and sink and relax into that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you tighten your butt, you arch your back and come up. We're gonna do the other side. Toe comes up, down you come. I'm gonna do this in the chair so that you can see that we can also do this in the chair. Leg goes out, and you just lean over until you feel a nice stretch in the back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, toe is up, feeling the stretch all the way, and release. We're gonna go ahead and fold over and work both of those hamstrings and our butt at the same time. So feet shoulder width apart. You're simply gonna fold over, round your back, pushing down toward the ground. Then you tighten your butt and arch up. Go down again, push as close to the ground as you can, feeling the stretch in the back of your legs and your butt. Now arch your back, tighten your butt, and push in. That's how we're protecting the lower back, is that arch and the push in with the butt. So straight legs, come down as far as you can, reaching down further than you were before. Hands on the knees, arch your back, tighten your butt, push in. Legs are gonna go wide. We're gonna catch the inside of those legs. So instead of the knees coming forward, we're gonna tilt our butt back, and we're going to shift to this side. Now I want my legs wide enough that when I shift, I don't roll over that leg. So legs are wide. You can hang on to something if you need to, but you still need to have your butt back. And when we shift, one leg will stay straight, the other leg will be forward. When I shift over, I should be able to put my knee, even if I can only shift a little ways, I should be able to have my knee over my toe, not my knee forward. So stretching this way, feel that stretch in the leg, and drop into it a little bit deeper and shift to the other side. So again, butt back. If you are only here, that's okay. You don't have to come very far. You just don't want that knee to go over the toe. So keep your butt back. Hold it for a few seconds. Shift into it a little bit deeper. We're going back to the other side. Butt comes back, shifting over. Knee toward the toe or down. Feel that stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back up and down we go. Hips go back. Knee comes toward the elbow. 10, 9, 8. You can hang on to a chair. 6, 5. The ideal is to stretch this. 2, 1. We're going to come back up. This time when we come up, we're going to tilt our toe up. So bring those hips down, elbow toward the knee, or hang on to anything. Bring that foot up and hold. And again, put your weight on a chair. If it feels like you're carrying some weight and it's hard to hold your weight on that leg, just put your weight on a chair. A little bit deeper stretch toward that side. We're going to go to the other side. Hips back, coming toward this. Again, put your weight on a chair if you need to. My foot is sliding. Toe comes up. Hold it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stretch down a little deeper. Now when you're here, tighten your butt, arch your back, and come up. All right, so we're gonna move to the front of the leg. Front of the leg is hard because a lot of people can't hang on to that leg. So if you can hang on to that leg, you get it anywhere you need to. You pull those knees close together, and to make it harder, you either pull it up tighter or you push your shoulders back, but don't be separating the knees. Other way you can do that is to find an object like a chair, lean over because you can get the balance you need. Lean way over, hanging on to something. Once that foot is there, I'm bringing the knees close together and I'm arching back until I feel that stretch here and in the front of my leg, okay? And you can hang on to something if you need it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, little deeper, and shift legs. So again, if you're using a chair, simply lean over so that you can get the foot up, put your knees close together, and then start pushing back at your level, feeling the stretch up the front and in that hip. 10, 9, 8, 7, and for those who are standing, hold it. 3, 2, 1. And you can also wrap a towel around your leg, around your ankle if you need to, and pull it up, but then you're really pulling at the same time. All right, so we're gonna move up a little higher. We're gonna get these outside hips. So when you're standing, you're gonna cross your leg over in the front so that that leg and that hip is going this direction. And then it doesn't matter where your arm is, you just tilt your hip until you feel a stretch up there. If you need to come out a little further, you can, and then just drop that hip. And if you don't feel it that way, arch your shoulders back, because we tend to lean forward and it releases some pressure here. So once you're over and you drop that hip, tilt your shoulders back. It's kind of a tough way to hold, but what you're looking at is that stretch along that leg. So 5, 4, 3, 2, done. And then we're going to the other side. So I can do this pretty upright if I need to. I'm gonna cross that leg over. I'm gonna keep my shoulders back. I'm gonna drop that hip down until I feel that stretch in the hip. 10, 9, 8, I actually find this easier than that way. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're gonna go back and forth with the hips and just stretch them out. So standing wide, push your hip out, and hand coming overhead, we're gonna stretch that way to catch this side. So hand comes overhead unless you have a shoulder injury, and just tilt or tilt, feel that stretch along the side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulling your elbow down, we're going to the other direction. So again, you tighten your core, hand comes up, hip goes out. Deliberately push that hip out so that you put as much stretch into it as you can. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back up again. We're going to do a little bit of a twist. So using your chair, you sit down in the chair. We're going to go ahead and cross our foot over. We're going to use this leg to torque off of. So putting your hand on the inside of that, we can turn ourselves and twist and feel that twist in your waist. You want to try and also add your neck back in. So when you use your neck, look behind you and try and look over your shoulder as though you're driving a car. So recognize those muscles, and those muscles get really stiff as we aren't as stiff, we're not able to drive as well and back as well. So other side, we're going to do for 10 seconds. Go ahead and sit down, cross that leg over, use your arm as a torque, reach behind you, and then look behind you as far as you can. Stretching back 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're going to cat and cow here and kind of release the back a little. So when you're sitting in place, round your back over into a little ball and arch your back. Round your back over into a little ball and arch your back. If you are standing, we're going to continue these for 10 or more. So you round yourself down and you arch back as though you're going to look over your shoulders. Round yourself down into a ball like your nose to your knees, and then arch back. Nose to your knees and arch back. A couple more. Nose to your knees and arch back. Okay. Gonna go ahead and add a little bit more stretch. This is called a triangle in yoga. So when your feet are wide, this foot stays forward, this foot turns out. Now I'm wide enough so that this knee can come halfway over the toe, and that adds some stretch in my legs. And I'm going to put my hands up this direction. You can hold onto a chair to hold this position, but if you can hold it and let go of that chair, it adds balance in there also. So we're adding some balance into the game. I'm going to bring my hands forward. So bringing them forward, again, you can hold something for balance. And I'm going to tilt back as far as I can, stretching the front of my abdominals, pushing back. Arms are trying to come up next to your ears, and then you're going to fold down and try and touch the floor without moving your lower body. Okay? Coming coming right back up to straight. Bring your feet around. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Remember, you can use a chair. We want as much balance as you can, but hanging on to something to start with is perfectly reasonable. So the feet are facing forward. Your other foot turns out and your knee comes halfway over the toe so that you get that stretch in your hip. Keep your shoulders back, don't lean forward. Your balance is right here. So you can hold that for 10, 20, 30 seconds. You can hang on to something, let go as you need to. We're gonna bring it around together. We're gonna arch it back. And so the ideal is trying to push those arms right next to the ears and the shoulders and the hips back as far as you can. So you feel a nice stretch and everything is straight. And then fold down and trying to touch the floor or as far down as you can go. Again, hang on to something if you need to. And then push through your heel, swinging around and coming back. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of balance work here. So feet are shoulder width apart. You're gonna put all your weight, so shift your weight over onto one leg, tighten your core and find a focal point. Again, having a chair close enough if you're new at balance that you can grab onto something. With balance, you want to move really slow. So I'm gonna pick up that foot, I'm gonna bring it out, and then I'm gonna bring it in. So I'm gonna bring it out for about a 3 count, and I'm gonna bring it in. And guess what? Everybody taps down sometimes. So tighten your core up, take the time to rebalance yourself, refocus, and take it out and in again. Out, and in. Out, and in. Just do the best you can. Balance only gets better with practice. So what am I doing to increase my balance? When I am on one leg and I add movement or just stand on one leg, all the muscles in my legs have to work equally from different sides. So often our legs are stronger on the outside because we move sideways down cabinets, but we don't pull our legs in. Sometimes front or back of legs are stronger depending on what we do with our job. But when you stand on one leg, all the muscles in your leg have got to work at equal pressure, and it causes the weak muscles to get tighter so that you can hold your balance, which is why you get stronger with practice. So tighten your core, tighten your tush and your tummy, find your focal point, knee comes in and out, and try not to hang on to something. One side is always better than the other. That's okay. If you tap down, start over. But remember to stay fairly slow. Let me hang on to something, because your body has to figure out where it is in space not to go splat. And if you're moving really fast, it can't figure out where you're going. Okay? All right, so bringing it back together, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna stretch some shoulders. So bring that shoulder across. Other hand comes under the shoulder and pulls it close to your body so that you feel that stretch along the back of the shoulder. And then if you need to make it harder, you pull in closer and raise it. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. We're going to the other side. Grab that other arm, pull that shoulder tight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull it a little deeper and release. Okay, so what we want to do is make sure that we continue to stretch these muscles out. Why do we stretch these muscles out? Because when we sit a lot, our cells are regenerating and these muscles regenerate tighter, and we have back injuries and back issues because these are so much tighter than a kid running around who's always up straight. And these muscles are weaker from sitting in a chair, and it's hard to hold our posture. So pushing the opposite direction of what you do, you can hang onto a chair, you can just push yourself backwards, you can push yourself off your car, you can push yourself off a wall, you can put one leg forward. It doesn't matter. What you're doing is you're stretching this hip area. So anytime you've been sitting, just pushing back, anytime you have been sitting for an hour or so watching TV, driving in a car, if you can get out and push your muscles in the opposite direction that you normally sit, then you're putting yourself back in balance as far as your flexibility so that the muscles in the back can help hold you up, and it creates the ability to release back injury. Backs hurt because they're trying to pull on tight muscles. Okay, go a little bit deeper. Let's go the other side. I'm just putting one foot back because it's a nice, easy way to do it. Stretching back, but you can, again, put two, or you can just put your hand in plank position on the wall or the floor and drop your hips. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and stretch our forearms. Forearms and biceps are this way, so you can do it this way, or you can simply put your hands on the wall and bring them up until you feel a nice stretch and press into them. So we're gonna do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going back to a balance move. So we're gonna go ahead and do kind of a warrior 3 move. So feet are facing, again, it's a balance move. You want to turn this toe out and your feet need to be far enough forward that this knee doesn't go forward over the toe. I'm going to scoot back a little because I'm going to be moving forward. So the first part of balance is simply turning and holding that position. It's like a lunge position. If you feel like you can do that, you turn this back toe and now you're full on straight, one foot in front of the other, which is much harder to hold. So hold that. If that is hard to do, that's where you stay for 10 or 15 seconds and just tighten your core and hold it. If you can do more, you bring your weight over this foot and you start raising this toe. The more you pick up that toe, the harder it is to balance. So what we're trying to do is tilt over. Whoops, there's my hanging on to something. And get that balance. Once you've got it, hold it for a little while, however long you can handle it, and bring it back down. So again, we're forcing that other leg to work, and you can use anything to balance yourself. So other side, start with your feet wide, turn that foot out, bring that knee halfway over the toe. If you can, you bring the other foot over. If you can, let me get back so I can do that. If you can, you start tilting up and tilting over. And the tighter you have your butt and your tummy, the better your balance. So you also see that I do the same thing. I hang on to things, but you get better with practice. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna stretch out our triceps. Triceps have a couple of ways you can stretch them. A lot of people who have flexibility can just grab this and pull it back. Some people do not have that flexibility. So one way to do it is to bring your arm up the wall, turn your hand on the side, and bring it back so that the elbow is against the wall. And I'm gonna get a little bit out from the wall so that when I put my elbow on that wall, I can lean into it. Now when I push my head down, I can feel that elbow stretch. So again, I'm starting out a ways. Doesn't matter what my legs are doing, just so that that elbow goes on the wall, and then when I push my butt back and lean into it, I can feel the stretch. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and release. We're gonna do the other side. If I were to do this on a ball or a chair, I would do the same thing. I'm gonna use my hand to protect my elbow. I'm gonna put that elbow there, and then I'm gonna try and come down low enough that I push that elbow back by my ear. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you pick wherever works for you. So biceps, triceps, shoulders. We want to stretch our chest. Now, why do we stretch our chest? Because when you see those heavy weightlifters lifting things, when you're doing things with these chest muscles, what happens is as those muscles are healing, because when you have any kind of a muscle tear, when you're lifting weights, the soreness is little teeny muscle tears. So what does your body do when you have an injury? It tries to protect it by getting really tight. So as you see weightlifters and bodybuilders pushing weight, their shoulders start to round, not because they're hunched over a computer, but because these muscles are too tight and they're walking around like this. So by stretching these muscles out, you allow those back muscles to be able to be strong enough to hold your shoulders back. And the same thing that a bodybuilder gets, you get being over your computer. So as you round over a computer or over your phone, you now see 18-year-olds doing this, these muscles get tighter. You need to stretch them out so that as you strengthen those shoulder muscles, they can hold you back. So for those muscles, you can put your hands at 90 degrees and walk through a doorway. If you walk through a doorway, you're not leaning into it and holding yourself up with the muscles which make them tighter. You're putting one foot forward and letting your body weight be on your feet while you pull those muscles back. To do that on a wall, you simply drag your hand down the wall, find a comfortable position, and then pull out from the wall until you feel the stretch across half of your chest and shoulder. So here we go, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the other side, I'm just gonna grab anything. Same thing, I'm gonna turn myself away until I feel a stretch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll your shoulders back. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and do a little bit more balanced move. So standing on one foot, we're gonna pick up that knee again. We're going to do a toe kick, and then we're gonna push kick with our heel. Toe kick, push kick with our heel. 10 times. 3, push, 4, push, 5, push, find a focal point, tap down as many times as you need to and come back in. 2 more, toe, heel, okay? Which also uses top of legs and hip flexors, okay? Here we go again. We're gonna stand on one leg, toe, push with the toe, push with the heel. Toe kick, heel kick. 3, 4. Why do you think that children have such great balance and flexibility? Because they're game players. So adults that play soccer, who play tennis, who are moving like kids, football, they tend to be much more flexible and balanced than people who work out in gyms or just walk or just work in the garden, because whatever you are doing over and over, some muscles get tight and the others do not. Toe kick, heel kick, done. Okay. I'm gonna work on back. So back, you can do a rounding and arching, or you can simply grab onto something. If you have something that you can grab onto, round your back and lean your weight into. 10, you can hold on to door handles. You can hold on to the sides of a wall. It's wherever you need to. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right, so let's finish that out by rounding and arching. Round your shoulders out, arch your shoulders back. Round your shoulders out, arch your shoulders back. Round your shoulders out, arch your shoulders. Now we're gonna push. Take your hands and put them together. Push as far as you can. Feel that stretch in your back. Pull back as far as you can. Feel the stretch in your chest. Push as far as you can. Feel the stretch in your back. Arch back as far as you can. Feel the stretch in your chest. All right, let's finish with a little shoulder work or a little head work. So head and neck muscles are just as important as the other muscles in your body. Sitting with your head straight, tilt your head to one side, so straight over, and you're gonna feel the stretch in your neck, and then to make that stretch harder, push down with the opposite hand and feel the stretch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Same thing. Tilt your head straight over to the other side. Feel the stretch in your neck. Push down with that opposite hand on the side that you're tilting away from. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And be careful with the neck muscles, because our head is 10 pounds sitting on a little stick and we don't do much with it. They get really sore and kind of creaky when you move them. We're going to tilt chin to chest and then arch it back. Chin to chest for 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we're going to add in just a little bit on those posture muscles. We talked about these muscles being tight and your shoulders rounding, and one thing we can do is get those squeezing our shoulder blades back muscles working a little bit better for us. So what you're going to try and do is bring your hands up next to your ears, not out here, as far back as you can. Bring them back as far as you can. Turn your fingers together and bring those elbows down into 90 degrees. And as you do, squeeze your shoulder blades together as hard as you can. Squeezing back as far as you can. When you get them back as far as you can, as though you're pulling your elbows together, release. You'll feel a squeeze behind your shoulders. Let's do that about 3 more times. So arms go up as tall as you can. We're going to start bringing them down into goalpost. And as we bring them, we're going to push those elbows back. Back, squeeze the shoulder blades, squeeze the shoulder blades, squeeze the shoulder blades. Trying to touch our elbows together in the back and release. Roll your shoulders a couple times. You're going to feel tight there. Here we go up again. As far back as you can. Turn your palms forward, bringing your elbows back. So you guys who have a lot of strength to you, you can lay face down on the floor and you can do this. You can pick your arms up, keep bringing them back. You can bring them down into those goalposts, squeezing the elbows back without touching the floor and using gravity to pull them back. And it makes it a lot more severe to do this. Last one, arms come up back as far as you can. Bring them straight down to the side. Squeezing those elbows back as far as you can. Squeeze, hold, 2, 3, squeezing together and release. Now we're gonna round and release because those muscles are tight. Round your muscles over as though you're giving yourself a hug. Arch your shoulders back. Round your shoulders in. Arch your shoulders back. Round your shoulders in. Arch your shoulders back. Roll your shoulders a couple times. And that's it today. Thank you for being part of our Let's Get Healthier and Portantas here at Anytime Fitness. Like us on Facebook, share us with your friends. We're going to give you a different workout every day. Remember that fitness is